Jill here.
Hello.
Welcome to the Land Academy Show. Entertaining land investment talk. I'm Steven Jack Butala.
And I'm Jill DeWit, broadcasting from sunny Southern California.
Today, Jill and I talk about minor and possession of real estate. This is obviously a play on words for minor and possession.
Uh-huh.
But like the show yesterday, it was inspired by an actual thing.
Exactly.
An actual comment.
I love it.
The real question is this. Can a minor own real estate? And the real short answer is yes. We'll talk about it because it gets tricky. Before we get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the landinvestors.com online community. It's free.
Matt asks, I have the opportunity to buy 4 half-acre lots, 2 on one side of the street and 2 on the other side. Everything looked good at first with the asphalt roads, curb and gutter, all the utilities, and an agreed purchase price less than half the value of comps in the area. The agreed purchase price is $20,000 per lot, and the lowest price comp is $50,000. But once I looked on Google Earth, I discovered that the road had been raised to meet a grade of perpendicular road it tees into.
Great due diligence.
As a result, the road for these 4 lots front is about 10 to 15 feet higher than the lots, with about a 1-to-1 slope. So the road's up,
not inches.
The lots are down 10 to 15 feet, and then a 1-to-1 slope down from the road.
I hope that's a misprint.
Right.
I hope it's 10 to
15
inches.
Do you have any, it does say feet, I don't know. Do you have any, do any of you with building experience think that these lots still have value close to the comparable lots that don't have any of this type of topography? If these lots are devalued due to this situation, do you have any idea how much they would be devalued? Or are they not worth hardly anything because of the costs to raise the grade of these lots? Any insight would be greatly appreciated. Thanks in advance.
I mean, my hat's off to you for figuring this out very quickly on the internet without spending any money. I mean, I can tell I don't know if you're new at this or what, but you're going to be good at it. First, you had what it takes to find the lots in the first place, and they're undervalued. So you got like 85% of the way there. Right. All of these, and you asked all the right questions. Are they devalued? What should I do? What do I do next? I don't have any experience.
Right.
All of these questions are great. We're not the people to ask them. I can tell you what Jill would do. She would call a local real estate agent. She would call the owner of a tire changing shop that's close by. I've seen her do all of these actual things. She would call the clerk at a 7-Eleven that's close to the place.
Talk to them about it.
Call multiple people at the county and just say, "What's the heck is the deal with the grade on these streets?" You know, and then you'll get some version of this. Oh yeah, don't worry about it. They everybody who built there, they raise their stuff up. There's a grading guy. They just go out there and do it. Or it's a really big issue here. It's in the local paper all the time. We can't get past it, and there's nothing we can do about it. And the state sucks. You got to really dig in there and do some investigative stuff and find out.
Right. Info report would help too.
Yeah. I don't think an info report's going to smoke this out, quite honestly.
You don't think it's going to figure out the buildability? I think it will. Or what's needed to improve the lot to build on it right now today?
Yeah, maybe it'll get a 2 instead of a 3.
Uh-huh.
But
maybe a 1.
Grading.
It might get a 1 instead of a 3.
Grading at 15 feet, I'll tell you, move on. Mm-hmm. I hope it's 15 inches, which is, a little more than a foot.
Exactly.
15 feet, that's like rezoning. There's 15 feet, you can't fill 15
I'm hoping
feet
it's inches and it just got in there wrong. So yeah.
You know how railroads it's always above ground because water goes down. That's not 15 feet usually.
Exactly. That's like 2.
That's like 2 feet or 3 feet.
Maybe.
Yeah. It's a great question. What I got out of that is you're going to do great. Today's topic, minor and possession of real estate. This is the meat of the show. What does that mean, Jill? How many times has this come up in our career? A lot.
A lot. Like, wait a minute. This guy wants to give it to his son, and his son's 10. Can he do that? Or I'm trying to buy from someone, and it's in the son's name. How the heck did that happen?
Here's the whole thing, legally, and then we'll talk about the fun part.
Okay.
Because we give properties to our friends' kids all the time for, like,
gifts,
birthdays and stuff.
The kids don't like it. The parents do.
A minor,
We think it's funny.
a minor cannot enter into a contract. That's just how it is. They can't legally enter into a contract. They can sign all they want. I don't even know if they can legally have their signature notarized. Anyway, but the catcher is a deed's not a contract. There's only one signature on the deed, and it's the conveyor. It's the person who's conveying the property to the new guy, the new owner. And you don't even have to have his consent. There's not two signature spots on there. I can convey property to Jill while she's sleeping and record it, and she's going to wake up the next day a little more wealthy than she was yesterday.
Thanks.
So there's no issues with that. I can convey property to my buddy's minor for his birthday.
Right.
That's the end of the show.
Well, that's it. Thanks for listening. I think it's funny that it's one of those things that people that they don't know. And I understand that. And that's why we're here to help you. So that's one of the things and this minor in possession of real estate is one of those things that people got wrong. I don't know how to say that. But another one that I've heard people that they didn't know was being a citizen. You do not have to be a citizen of the United States to own property. And a lot of people don't know that.
It surprises me.
I know. You could be from any country. It doesn't matter. You can own property here in the United States. You can buy property. You could sell property. You don't have to be a citizen.
And then that's as an individual. There's this whole world of LLCs and trusts and all kinds of legal entities that can legally hold property.
Right.
And, kids are named in trusts all the time. That's how that's how you
that's why you make the trust.
Take advantage of tax. Take advantage of intelligent tax filing.
Yep.
And all of that.
Right.
That's why you make a trust. That's right.
Exactly.
So they
that's
can
the whole
certainly
point.
own real estate that way.
Totally.
None of this stuff, if you're brand new, you should worry about. But when you get a little further on in your career and you start to accumulate real estate, some of it you keep, some of it you don't. Some of it, the people who buy it from you want you to convey it into a trust, so it's a little bit different. I don't want you to worry about it.
Right.
If you're new, because title agents are fantastic at this.
Right.
But if there's one thing that you need to remember about this, it's all to your advantage. All this property ownership and landlord business and real estate ownership is all to your advantage. It's not to anyone else's advantage. People who walk around this planet choosing not to own real estate. And that's their choice because it takes a couple $100 in a lot of cases just to buy a piece of property. They're missing out.
Thank you. So I think, do you have any tips? Is there anything special that anyone needs to do buying or selling property when there's a minor involved?
No.
Thank you.
What I would do and what we do is we deed it to the parent and the child so that they own it together. And then they can always
JTROS.
The child can always, the way that the deed gets signed, the way that I've seen deeds get signed is dad signing on behalf of minor son as a conveyor.
But you don't have to do that.
That's right.
You really can't put it just in the child's name.
No, but I mean, if they want to sell it, let's say
they
get a property from us that's worth $5,000 and 3 years later, hopefully it's worth 25. The kid's still a minor. He can't convey the property. He cannot. I don't think his signature can get notarized. The way I've done it in the past is through. At that point, I do it through title. So you know what? I don't
just
even
to be on the safe side, especially when we're talking that much money.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's the best way to do it. I love it. What else do you want to share about this? This was an easy, quick topic today.
I don't know. You have a bunch of notes here.
No, we covered them all.
That's no fun. They want to hear from you, Jill, not me.
Well, I don't have anything. I'm trying to think of why would I do this? You know what? Just to, like we do it for gifts, just stuff you want to leave, keep it in the family, and keep it. It's nothing wrong with grandma. You know what? This would be a good thing. Why would somebody do this? Grandma's getting older. And we want to put it in the kid's name right now, and just because we know it's going to stay in the family. It doesn't have to go from grandma to dad to son. Grandma can put it right into son's name. That's who might do it.
Grandma's getting older. She lives in the house. She owns like 3 houses in the block.
Yeah.
And we see this. I see this all the time. And instead of filing tax returns and estate and all that, all she has to do is have her kids or a lawyer or even a title agent just convey that actual property into grandma's name and her son's name or her children's
name.
grandson. Or the grandson.
That's put it right in the grandson's name.
If something happens to grandma, It's a non-event.
That's right.
That person now owns that property.
Exactly. I mean, when grandma passes,
Yeah.
it's a non-event to claim the property. When we say JTROS, it's joint tenants with rights of survivorship. And that's how like I tell my team now, if you have a husband and wife, don't even ask. Just do it that way. You're saving them some time and some headaches and
Well, a
hassle.
tremendous amount of
If
estate planning.
anything happens down the road to one of them, it's just an automatic non-event.
You can do the same thing with bank accounts and
And you don't have to be married.
Wall Street basic accounts.
It could be two brothers. They don't have to be related. It could be two best friends
Yep.
buying property together. JTROS. If something happens, then it goes to the other one.
I always hear everybody really dogging the system. I hear it a lot from people. Well, that's not fair. I got charged this. If you really think about it and sit down and think about it and plan it, all this stuff is to your advantage. There are rules that can really make it financially beneficial for you and the people in your world.
Exactly. I love it.
Well, you've done it again. You spent another 15 minutes or so listening to the Land Academy show. Join us next time for The Sellers Need to Trust You. For a deal to happen, the sellers need to trust you by Jill.
Exactly. And we answer your questions posted on our online community, landinvestors.com. It's free.
You are not alone in your real estate ambition.
Cool. Cool.
Cool.
I think we covered it. That's one of those topics that I don't have a lot to say.
Clearly.
Well, because come on, do you?
I guess not.
Well, we do it. Seriously, we covered it. Yes, it's allowed. It's important. And we talked about it. It is all good. Listen, you. Hey, wherever you're listening or watching, please subscribe and rate us there. We are Steven Jill.
Information
And inspiration
to buy undervalued property.